This guide is for incoming exchange students of the Faculty of Arts at Radboud University. Today we'll take a look at the exchange course selection and also how you can see your schedule. It's all based on this PDF document that you've also received in the email with all the information. So there's more a visual representation and an example how you could follow this guide. So first you have to check your schedule. To do so, first check your learning agreement. So you take all the courses that are on your learning agreement and go to this website. So here you can see the schedule, and then you click on Add Timetable. It also says your schedule is still empty. If you log in with your Radboud account, you can save all of the courses to your account, but the schedule is not pre-made for you. You always have to add and delete courses when you are registered or deregistered for courses. So to add a timetable, it's very important to check the correct academic year. Now we're still officially in the academic year 2024-2025. But we would like to check the schedule for 2025-2026, so we have to go down here. At a certain point it will come up here, so don't be confused, but always make sure it's the correct academic year. Then you choose course. And now you can add all the courses. So I'll go ahead. I have a few courses that are on my learning agreement that I would like to add and see if it works with the schedule. So I just put the course code in here. I can also put a course name in there. I click yes, this one I would like, and I say add timetables and okay. With groups, we can take a look at that later. So again, corporate communication, add timetable, and I'm just going to do that for all of my courses that I would like to follow. Here, an important example for intercultural communication. That course is offered 3 times during the academic year, so in period 1, period 3, period 4. Each semester consists of 2 periods, so period 1 is the first period of the first semester. The first semester also has period 2. The second semester has period 3 and period 4. So right now we're looking for the first semester, so I add period 1 because I would like to follow it in the first semester. Okay, and then the last courses. Okay, now I see all of my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 courses on the side here. This may differ per person how many you have. For this example, I just chose these 5. And now we have to continue here and click to the start of the semester in September so that we actually see how our schedule looks. Okay, so this is our schedule, and we can see here there's an overlap in classes. So in general, you cannot enroll in classes that are overlapping, but we can see here, this states British English, British Literature and Culture, Group 1. Here it says Group 2. It also shows that this is marked as green, so these are working groups, and apparently the same working group is held, but you're split up into 2 groups. So an easy way to solve this issue of an overlap is that you follow Group 2 instead of Group 1. With anything else, like for example here, it does not state any groups. Thus, everyone has to follow those classes. Student sets you can ignore. This applies to the students normally registered, like normal degree students, not exchange students. So in order to now filter and make sure we don't see this class anymore, we go to the course British Literature, and then it would be natural to say choose groups, but we won't do that. We go to filter activities, and here, yes, we want the exam. We don't want to see Group 1, we only want to see Group 2. You can see Group 1 disappeared, and this way our schedule does not have any overlaps. It is very important to now continue through to the exam periods, because you also want to make sure that your exams aren't overlapping. So here we can see in red, everything marked in red are the exams. Any papers, tests, anything minor that isn't an exam, maybe a paper is not that minor, are not visible in the schedule. They will be visible in the course manual that will be uploaded to Brightspace later. So where you can find all the information of the course. So here we can see where the exam will take place and when it will take place. Okay, no overlaps. The next week, no overlaps. Great. And then we enter the second period. Here's a week 3. But here we can see, okay, here are our other courses. Then we click through again, because sometimes a course has one week it's on Monday, the other week it's on Thursday. So you have to click through all weeks to make sure that there are no overlaps, so that you can follow everything. In December we are off for Christmas, and then the next exams roll around in January. So we take a good look again. No overlaps of exams, great. Click through. February is already the second semester. Okay, now we checked our schedule. So now we know that we can follow these courses. We know that we have to make sure that for British Literature we are in group 2. And yeah, otherwise, if you have any overlaps, if that means that you cannot follow a course, you have to go back to where you find all the available courses. So that is here. The Exchange Guide, Faculty of Arts, so I linked the Faculty of Arts Bachelor Course Guide. If you go back to Faculty of Arts, you can also go to the Master Course Guides. And then you have to make sure to find a course that stands in this list where you have all the requirements, because sometimes here it only says AIN, sometimes it said presumed foreknowledge, and then you have to have that pre-knowledge in order to follow that course. Here, presumed foreknowledge, and then it says whatever you need to know in order to follow this course. So if you made sure you checked everything in the schedule, you looked at new courses, you also checked those in the schedule, you have your list complete, you know which courses you would like to take. So for me it would be these 5. Then we go to the next step, course selection. So after the registration deadline you cannot change courses anymore, so be very precise. Make sure that you're registered for sufficient ECTS, because students with a student visa have to follow at least 20 ECTS each semester. If you are a student from the EU, someone who doesn't need a residence permit, you're free to follow as little courses as you want. Anyone who has to request a residence permit with the IND has to follow at least 20 ECTS each semester, so 20 credits. Registering for courses, you will do that through this link. So you just follow this link, and you will have a Qualtrics link, and here it also states again, okay, Tuesday 1st of July the schedule is published. It's important to avoid any overlaps, so make sure you check the schedule, and also select 2 backup courses, because after 8th July, which is the deadline, you can't really change your courses anymore. So let's hope that if you can't get one of the courses because it's full, one of your backup works. So if we continue, you just fill in your name. Then we can continue. And now you have to put in all the course names and codes. So I go back to my schedule. I say, okay, corporate communication. Zack. I'm taking the period 1 away because that's a bit annoying. And then I go back to the schedule and I say, okay, so I filled in everything there. So you make sure it's the course code and the course name. And then you can say, for the course British Literature and Culture, I need to be in group 2 to avoid overlaps. So this way you let us know how to avoid the overlaps. then we make sure to enroll you in Group 2. Please do that for any course that you have any thing. Also with a backup, if you're like, okay, I would like backup A, but that would conflict with course 5, so if I get course 5, then I can't have backup 1. Any information is great if you can put that in there, so that we can make sure that in the end the courses you will be registered for also work together in the schedule, because we do not check the schedule for each and every one of you. That is your own responsibility. So here I declare that I get the checker for the entire semester. I read the course descriptions and I have a C1 English level, or I'm a native speaker if I would like to follow LET ETC courses. Also language of instruction. Once again, here you can see language of instruction, English, French. That does not mean that you can follow the course only in English. That means that you have to speak French and English to follow this course. It's academic and professional language skills French, so it is meant for people who are learning French and already have some experience. You can check that here, presumed foreknowledge. You have a B2 in French. So don't see this as, oh, I can choose English or French. It means you have to speak English and you have to speak French. I declare that I checked the presumed foreknowledge requirements. So that means you checked all of them. I declare that I'm aware of the registration deadlines and that this is my final decision. So because afterwards you cannot change it anymore. If you have any questions, remarks, you can put that here. I say no, I don't have any, and then you can continue and you handed it in. Yes, so let's go back to the guide. Here I again put a checklist with, okay, I don't have any course overlaps, no exams overlapped, I have the required English level, I have the required previous knowledge. You know the gist. A note on registering for exams. So you are generally registered for the exam if you are registered for the course, but that is only the first opportunity of the exam. If you do not pass that first opportunity and you have to go and do the reset, which if you look at the schedule, we can see here, these are the exams of period 1, so for example American Political System, which is a midterm exam, so there you'll have an exam again at the end of period 2, but here Communications and Behavior in Organization, written exam, it's the final exam. If you do not pass this one, then at the end of the next period, so at the end in January, let's go to January. So at the end of the next period, so when the exams of the second period are, you will also have the reset of the previous period. So here, Communications and Behavior in Organizations, digital, it says digital reset. So you will have to follow that reset. Another important note, if you have, for example, if this is your exam, digital exam, at the end of period 2, then the reset will be at the end of period 3. So I'm not sure if the schedule is published for that yet. I do not think so. That will be later. But generally, it will be around April. So if you do not pass a course at the end of period 2, that means that you will have to come and do a reset in April, or you cannot do the reset. Faculty guidelines are that you cannot do an exam at another time or date or place. Either you are there for the reset or you cannot take the reset. It is important to register for resets on time, namely 3 weeks before the exam, because once the deadline has passed, we cannot register you anymore, STIP cannot register you anymore. Deadline has passed, it's not possible anymore. To do so, you just click on this web form. Here's signing up for a reset. You just select all the information, which exam you would like to reset. What I always do is, the moment I get the grade that I did not pass, immediately that moment I will register for the reset, because then I cannot forget it. It's really, sometimes you already studied for the exam, then you realize you did not register. There is nothing we can do. We cannot register you anymore once the deadline has passed. So that's really frustrating, and to avoid that, just The moment you get the message, oh, I did not pass the exam, in that moment you register for the reset, because then it's done, it's out of the way. After you have handed in this list with all the classes you would like to follow,